My name's Austin Savage, and I am so glad that you're here. Today, we are talking about consistency. In our recent podcast conversation with Emily Schwalbach, which was an awesome one, if you have not listened to it, please check it out. You can check out the video version, link it up there, or you can find the show on your favorite podcast platform. It really was a helpful conversation. But she mentioned something as she was talking about the work she does on Instagram for a variety of clients. She made a statement that said, "I don't care how often you post, I just don't want you to stop. I don't care how often you post, I just don't want you to stop." Her phrase is finding your minimum, but finding what you can be consistent with, not just trying to do too much and then burning out and stopping. And she's spot on. At the end of the day, consistency when it comes to content wins over everything else. It's the people who can find a rhythm and stick with it for months and even years down the line that earn the momentum, that earn the trust, and start to see more of a community built around their brand. And the same thing is true for you. Finding the rhythm of consistency that you can keep up with in your brand is what will lead to that momentum, kind of that snowball effect for you moving forward as you're building your company or your organization or your brand. What that means is unique to you and your life and what makes the most sense. But what I can tell you about are 3 barriers to consistently posting content. Number 1 is the obsession over quality. The end goal for content that you post online is not quality. It is not for it to look awesome. It is not for it to be packaged in a certain way or kind of be designed perfectly. The goal for your content online is to be helpful and valuable and interesting or funny. We want what's contained, what's said, what's sent, or shared to be valuable, to be quality content. But the obsession over quality often shows itself as needing a video to be perfect, obsessing over the way a photo looks and not posting it, obsessing over the way a kind of graphic is designed and not posting it. And what we do is we push off posting content, and we look back and we haven't posted for weeks or for months at a time, and we lose our momentum. The second thing is time. A lot of people feel like they just don't have time to consistently create content. And Kelsey and I actually had differing perspectives on a recent episode of the podcast as well. We talked about this. But this often comes down to thinking that content needs to be completely separate than what you're already doing in a day. Yes, it takes time. Yes, it needs to be valued. Yes, it needs to, you might have to stop for 5 to 10 minutes to post something or to craft a caption or, post something on your story. But that doesn't have to be a completely separate thing from the rest of your day. It's okay to make creating content a part of what you're already doing throughout your day rather than an addition to it. Bring people along on your journey. Share about meetings that you're in, share about things that you're doing within the company, share your daily to-do list. Bring people along. If you have a random conversation, ask people what they think about a topic. Just kind of make that a part of your rhythm, and it starts to get less overwhelming because you're bringing people along on what's already happening in your day instead of trying to do everything from scratch. For me, often on this YouTube channel, that looks like just pulling from client conversations and just chatting about it here for 5 minutes. I throw my phone up sometimes right after a client call or the next day, and I'll just say, "Hey, I was recently on a call talking about this. Here's what I wanted to tell you about it." And you can do the same thing with a picture on Instagram. You can do the same thing with a blog. You can do the same thing with a video. It doesn't have to be this completely separate process from what's already happening in your day. And then the third thing is confidence. So often, and I'm so passionate about this topic, but so often people don't feel confident in what they have to say or what they're passionate about, that they end up just not creating content at all. They push it off with the kind of perspective that, well, people wouldn't really be interested in this anyways, or what I have to say isn't really expert level enough to really be helpful, and so I'm going to wait until I feel confident enough to post something. And months or weeks go by and they don't post anything and they lose that momentum. But like we've talked about on the channel before, you don't need to be an expert to make a difference. In fact, it's often better if you aren't an expert to add value to people's lives and bring people along on your journey. So it really is important for us to find confidence in who we are and what we have to say. So I want to leave with you with the same encouragement Emily left in our recent podcast episode, and that is to be consistent. You don't need to post on social media every day. You don't have to have a podcast go out every week. You don't have to do anything. But it is important, if you do want to build a long-lasting brand and a meaningful community, it is important to be consistent. Find that rhythm that works for you and keep it going. Don't try to do too much, because in the end, consistency wins. Hey, I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, ring the little bell so you never miss a video that we post. We post the Marketing Should Be Fun video version of the podcast here, as well as some of these content talks and some random thoughts about content and marketing. And I hope that you will follow along. And so we will see you right back here very soon.